Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped. I'm Notorious Dub and today I'm going to be going over what people are calling the first real power creep that we're seeing in Valorant in the form of the new agent Astra. Now so far Astra seems like that insane crossover between a controller and a sentinel that can absolutely lock down a site on defense and make retaking a bomb site on attack seem to be impossible against her. But with an insane amount of smokes and a ton of utility, everyone is agreeing she's going to be replacing someone from the meta. We're just unsure exactly who it's going to be. And in all honesty, in my prediction, she's going to be replacing both the sentinels and the controllers from the pro play. That way they can focus on more attacker sided team comps. But all of that aside, in this video you're going to learn everything that you need to know to excel at Astra and pick up all of the free rank rating points you can get before she's nerfed in the near future. But before we get into the meat of the video, as always, we have to go over our question of the day. And today I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about abilities that kill in Valorant? Now it's been a long time since I've heard anyone talk about this, and it feels like the topic just kind of died down and flew under the radar instead of being addressed when everyone was upset about it in the early life of Valorant. Now personally, I don't have a problem with the occasional ability that does a ton of damage, but I am afraid that with the good amount of agents that Riot wants to release, the more agents that we end up getting with abilities that kill, the more the game changes dramatically and the more the meta is going to shift. So for now, I don't mind it. Sometimes it's fun to double satchel into someone's face and throw a rocket at their feet, but one or two more abilities like that on a different agent and we could be looking at a totally different game where that's all you're going to be seeing. But I know a ton of you think completely different than me, which is exactly why I want to ask you. So make sure to let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about abilities that kill in Valorant? Alright, so first things first, we have to talk about Astra's playstyle. Now on first thought, she is a controller, meaning she should fit the same role as Omen or Brimstone where she throws smokes, stays alive, walks in behind her team, and spams utility to stop the post plant. And that is exactly what she does, with a ton more capabilities that also give her the option to lurk, watch flank, solo hold a bomb site, and solo execute a full site take. This is because everyone is saying that Astra is a mix between Omen and Killjoy, or Viper and Killjoy, which gives Astra that unique spot in the team composition meta. For a long time, with Valorant's short career, teams have been experimenting with no sentinel comps or double smoker comps to try and amp up the attacker side of their team because Valorant is just a naturally defender-sided game. But this unique role is that Astra can actually fill both of those roles at the exact same time. Now, unlike Viper, Astra isn't just a middle ground between a controller and a sentinel where you're accepting some trade-offs by playing her. Astra actually excels at both of those roles at the exact same time. And to be as effective as possible in Astra, you have to play like you're filling both of those roles at the same time. Which means on defense, your entire goal is to stay alive. Spam your utility and anchor your bomb site whenever everyone else rotates. You want to lock down that bomb site for the entire game. And when the enemy team is committing to a site take, fully reposition your utility to help with the retake, because it's very quick to reposition and that's one of the things that makes her so strong. And then on attacker side, your entire goal is to, once again, stay alive. And I know it sounds cheesy, but you're the person that gets your team on the site and you're the person that stops the enemy from retaking. And if your team doesn't have another smoker or a sentinel, then you staying alive to recharge and reuse your utility is vital to the round's success. So just bait your teammates. That's what they get for insta-locking Jet anyway. And you want to try to be the third person on the bomb sites. Let the entry fragger and the second man flash through and sit slightly behind them. You want to clear out any angle they might not have cleared, but be ready to fire at anyone who peeks unexpectedly. And you want to play anti-flash as much as possible, making sure you're not going to get hit by flashing out Phoenix who's coming to retake. Now on either side of the map, attacker or defender, you carry a huge burden of being the controller and the sentinel. But honestly, just by staying alive and recycling your utility, you're going to be doing more for your team than any single agent would be doing in the same scenario. Also remember, if you're serious about improving, then go to SkillCapped.com to unlock our hyper improvement system that will teach you how to win more gunfights, master your agent, and so much more. It's also backed by our rank improvement guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. So come join over 500,000 satisfied members of SkillCapped, improve that KDA, and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. Alright, now the first thing we need to talk about in terms of abilities is Astra's Astral form, because it's the basis for all of her utility. For this ability, simply activate the ability to enter your Astral form, where you can place stars with your primary fire, and then you can reactivate those stars later to transform them into Nova Pulses, Nebula, or Gravity Well, her other abilities. You can also recall these stars at any time. It's called Dissipating, and you only need 8 seconds before you can then replace those stars, which I will talk about more in detail later. But this Astral form is the key to making Astra so good at solo holding a bomb site, because when the enemy commits to another bomb site, she can pick up all of her utility and 8 seconds later have a full lineup of utility on the other bomb site to help with the retake, even if she's not there yet. And another thing to keep in mind for Astra is that the only thing that keeps you from being able to spam utility is the amount of stars that you have and the cooldown of your abilities. And instead of having to buy the different abilities, you actually always have them available, but you do have to buy each star for 200 credits. But you do get 2 for free each round, so it actually ends up being a not very expensive agent to play, with your max investment being 600 credits. And then the next ability I want to talk about is Astra's smoke ability, Nebula and Dissipate. Now with this ability, you place your stars in astral form, and you activate your star with this button to create a nebula, which is just a dome of smoke. But also with this ability, you can use F to dissipate a star and return that star to you. That way you can use it about 8 seconds later, and in place of the star that you dissipate, it will create a small version of a nebula for 1 second instead of the 15 that it normally does. And you also get 2 nebulas, meaning you can have 2 smokes active at one time, and they go on a 14-second cooldown when activated. And then if you decide to use all 5 of your stars on nebulas, that leaves you with 75 seconds worth of smokes for an entire round, which is by far the highest in the entire game. And also a cool thing that you can do with the Dissipate is that because it creates a smoke that's exactly like your nebula that only lasts for 1 second, you can actually dissipate stars, even in a line to where you want to go, and reach areas that the enemy would have no idea that you could reach by faking your nebula. And next up we have Gravity Well, and this is the ability that everyone is having a fit over. Now with this ability, you place your star once again, and you activate the star using the button assigned to this ability to form a Gravity Well. The Gravity Well pulls all players in the area towards the center before it explodes, and upon explosion, all players that were still inside the area become vulnerable, taking double damage from all sources. This ability pulls for 4 seconds, and it goes on a 12-second cooldown after activation. Now with the enemy's gun out, it takes about 3 seconds to escape this ability while they're full running, and while you're being pulled, you're technically moving, so you're also inaccurate as well. All of these things combined make this the single best defending ability. Now if you can get the enemy to peek, which they have to peek eventually if they want to take a bomb site, then you just activate this ability, they will get touched by it and pulled to the center, and they're pretty much a free kill standing right there in the center. This ability also makes operator angles so strong because you can hold super tight corners and angles with the operator or a rifle if you want, take 1 shot, activate your Gravity Well, and re-swing that same angle to pick up a very easy kill on someone who's pulled towards the center and trying to escape. This ability is also insane for post plant and denying plants, but you do need to be in position to swing off of the activation or at least have a teammate in position to do the same. And next we have Nova Pulse. Now with this ability, you have to activate one of your stars to detonate the Nova Pulse, which charges briefly, then strikes, concussing all players in the area. This ability has the same effect as Breach's ultimate and signature ability, but it explodes much faster. The timing on this ability pops a little bit faster than Yoru flashes, but a tiny bit slower than Phoenix flashes, just to give you a reference for the time frame, which gives you a very small window to be able to react to this ability. Because with your gun out, if you react right at the activation time, you can still just barely make it out of the ring before explosion. Now this is going to be one of the best abilities to use when enemies are planning, defusing, tucked deep in a corner, or pushing up of a long hallway, because if they have an escape route, then they have to run to it immediately if they don't want to get stunned, but if they don't have a perfect escape route, then they will get hit by this ability and they will be a free kill for the most part unless they hit a lucky headshot while they're concussed. So if you ever need to clear out a corner, maybe have 1 star tucked in your pocket so you can throw it down really quickly, and this ability is almost a guaranteed kill. And finally we have the Cosmic Divide, Astra's ultimate ability. Now with this ability, use your secondary fire while in astral form to select a point, and then use 2 primary fires to select 2 locations. These 2 locations form as 2 points on a line that divide the entire map throughout that entire line with a cosmic wall that cannot be shot through and heavily dampens the audio on the other side of the wall. This ability is essentially just a juiced up Viper wall that lasts for 20 seconds, and this ability is perfect for getting a plant down, executing a bomb site, or performing a retake. Although the interface for throwing the ability down might be a little bit weird to get used to at first, you have so much time to make use of this wall that it might actually be the best ultimate in the game, because it gives enough time to execute the site, plant the bomb, and push into proper post-plant positions before the wall ever even drops. Alright, now let's talk about the first round buy, and here you have 2 options. Since you always have all of your abilities and each star costs 200 credits, you have the choice of Ghost or Frenzy and 1 extra orb, and then you have the choice of Classic Light Armor with 2 extra orbs. Now the first buy of Ghost or Frenzy and then sticking with 1 extra orb gives 3 stars total, which is a decent amount of smokes or gravity pulls, but it doesn't allow for much diversity of where you can position your stars, and it doesn't allow you to do much of both. And I would be opting for this type of buy on very congested maps like Split, where I know my 3 stars can cover everything I need, and when my team already has another smoke agent or a sentinel, so I don't have to do everything for us. And the other buy is going to be the Light Armor Classic, which allows for 4 stars total, giving you the ability to double stack both entrances to whatever bomb site you're playing, or throw standard stars and 2 backup backups in unexpected spots. Regardless, this extra star makes a huge difference on open bomb sites like C-Long on Haven, where you have to worry about long and garage control to hold a bomb site, because if either one fails, then the entire site fails, and you're probably going to need 4 stars minimum to deal with all of that pressure. And not to mention, if your team doesn't have a sentinel or a smoker, your team is probably going to need that little bit of extra control for utility during the round to give them the edge that they're lacking. And finally, let's talk about the standard tactics that you need to be aware of to play Astra effectively and up your game if you're not using them already. The first of which is the permanent smoke tactic. It's important to realize that Astra's smokes get put on a 14-second cooldown, while her smokes actually last 15 seconds while they're activated. And both charges can be on cooldown at the same time, so after 15 seconds you will have both charges back. Which means with 1 minute and 40-second rounds, you can smoke off a single point for a total of 1 minute and 15 seconds. Now typically you're not going to be smoking for this long in a game. Most rounds are committed before your second smoke ever even fades, but a ton of teams go to certain bomb sites like A on Bind and wait on smokes to fade before going in. Now Astra just doesn't allow that to happen, so you can force the enemies to have to push out of the smokes. And if the enemy team doesn't have flashes for some reason, a smoke becomes a death wish to actually walk out of. And then we have a quick tactic to keep in mind, that the Phantom is going to be way better on Astra than the Vandal is going to be. Now with Astra, you're constantly going to be playing around smokes. You're going to be playing close angles to protect those smokes, and you're going to be swinging off your utility controlling the range of your engagement, meaning that close range prowess of the Phantom and the lack of bullet tracers makes the Phantom a no-brainer to pick up for the Astra users, where the long range capabilities of the Vandal is probably not going to get much use out of you if you're playing Astra correctly. And finally, we have layering your abilities with your Dissipate. Now I believe it's going to be one of the most underutilized portion of Astra's kit, but it's a very disorienting part of her kit as well, because it allows you to get off utility without the enemy realizing that what you're doing straight off. Now whenever an enemy flashes out or peeks you aggressively, you can fall back, dissipate 1 star, and pop another with your Nova Pulse. This does 2 things. 1, it makes it where the enemy can't see the Nova Pulse before it pops if they're inside of the smoke. And 2, it serves as an insane distraction to get your Nova Pulse off, so they don't have enough time to actually react to it, because like we said earlier, it's a very fast reaction time that you have to actually get out. And the other thing you can layer is your Dissipate with your Dissipate, because this can serve as a line to use when you want to get into someone's face on an eco round, or it just allows you to isolate angles effortlessly on the fly. Now this is going to be a very high skill cap portion of Astra's abilities that, if you can master, can make you a clutch god in a ton of situations. But remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. But what do you guys think about Astra? And do you think she's going to be changed in the near future? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notification bells on, because we here at SkillCapped have a ton more comprehensive premium guides coming your way that you're going to want to stay up to date with, so you can stay ahead of the pack. As always, I want to thank you for spending this little bit of your day with us, and I'm Notorious Dub, signing off.